What have you learned about being open to radical ideas and betting on radical ideas? Because I think this is an area where if you're in the kind of tech ecosystem, you generally get it. If you're not, people just think you're investing in crazy things. And maybe that's a fine line. How do you think about that line?
Well, yeah, that's actually a very hard problem. So one of the things you learn early in venture capital, it's great that you read Power Law, for example. I think that does a great job telling some stories. But there's an old saying, and a number of the best investors have laid out this framework. You're looking to be contrarian and right, and correct. And then the problem is, listen, conventional wisdom is all around us, right? We take a lot of things in our world for granted, and the hard part is actually conventional wisdom is mostly correct, right? You have to have some humility. The world is filled with lots of smart people who've looked at problems. And chances are the solutions that you're using today, every solution, every product, every service was someone's inspired moment and the votes of millions of people that this is the way they were going to get things done. And so the hard part is being a contrarian is you're going to be wrong most of the time, right? And actually, there are some sectors and some areas where that's a luxury you can't afford. It's turned out in software and in technology, this idea of being contrarian and right, I think it's misinterpreted. Some people are contrarian for contrarian's sake. You can do that, and there's actually some good research and evidence that it's very useful in a population in a group to have some people that are almost habitually contrarian, just to widen the space of things you're thinking about. But the thing I fell in love with in technology are those rare moments where no, you think of something that isn't what everyone does, isn't conventional wisdom. You mentioned Wealthfront. The idea that people would trust their hard earned money not to another person, but to an algorithm, to software to manage, really hard to believe if you frame it like that. And you could have talked to anyone over the last 100 years, they would have been skeptical that anyone would trust money to a system like that. But you can imagine a different world. And so it turns out when those break through, it's a big win, right? The problem with conventional wisdom is even if you're right, well, everyone knew it already, right? So that market's very competitive. It's unlikely to build a big brand new business. Being contrarian and right means that you have the chance to build something new, a new business, right? LinkedIn can come in and replace Monster,
Yep.
right? And so I, I think that's the excitement of the industry. But you have to be willing to be wrong a lot, and you have to be excited about the destination. The great thing, I think, the center of solving problems with products and software is to just always remember that people are the heart of everything, right? You're solving a problem for a person, right? Wealthfront isn't just a tour de force of what can we do with software today. It was addressing a real need, right? Most people want sophisticated financial advice. Most of us don't have the confidence or education to believe that if we just manage our money ourselves, it will all turn out okay. And yet we know that the existing industry, the costs are so high that very few people even qualify to get a financial advisor. And so are we just happy with a world where most people can't have one? Or do we look for new solutions? So I think when you focus on the human problems, that usually puts you in the right direction. That it's the people that you're going to help who give you the clues all along the way of what solutions you could come up with that actually are valuable.